going live. Live! Oh, man. Dude. Here we are again.
Hey, guys.
We are
back to testing normal.
in VR. Ooh, 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 ee.
Dude, is your mic extra hot? It might be a little extra hot. That might be what it is.
I think it is for you. I can turn mine down, though.
Maybe just to be safe.
Well, it won't turn down for you.
Mine down.
No, leave yours up, because yours was quiet last time.
Okay.
And I don't
All
want
right.
people to think I'm editing you.
Hey guys, welcome back to Test Normal. This is episode number 54. The big 5-4. What? So yeah, we are coming to you live from the studio of
VR.
our homes, right?
Yeah.
Coming to you live from studios from our homes, and we're continually working on our
Social distancing.
Social distancing and IT skills. Pew 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 pew. And dude, it's been a crazy week, hasn't it?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Super crazy.
So crazy.
I don't even
like pretty much
know what to think.
Yeah, we've had like pretty much the nation has had pretty much nonstop stimulation as far as from social media, from news. It's just been insane.
Yeah.
Dude, I was thinking about this. This is crazy. Literally exactly 1 week ago, we had just watched the presidential debate the candidate debate between Biden and Sanders. Doesn't that feel like months ago almost, or like a month ago? It doesn't feel like just a week
It's
ago.
insane. Yes.
Yeah, super wild. So, in that time of the span of the week, pretty much every single day there's been new changes, new recommendations from government, from states, and I anticipate significant changes upcoming in the next 36 to 48 hours, potentially. Can't say for sure, but we're both, before Jordan and I got back on the podcast, guys, tonight, we were kind of talking about this, and we don't say this with absolute certainty, but I would be not surprised, coming to you first, if you're listening to Testing Normal, that within the next 48 to ish hours or less, maybe, I believe there will be either a complete like a shelter in home order by either the state of Oregon or the entire country will be required to do that.
Right.
I don't know if that's, and that's just my speculation, but from the people I've been talking to that have different connections, that I think, and Jordan's had some similar conversations with different people, that seems like a trend that might be happening here.
Right. I'm trying to get our feedback up here so I can see comments, but keep talking.
Gotcha. Well, you could just look on your phone though too.
Not very easily for me.
Oh really? Here, I can do it. I'll put it up on mine. So yeah, that will be really interesting to see if that happens.
Right.
So this whole situation, everybody, before we go into talking about this craziness and this whole virus issue and all the different news and all these different things, I want to encourage everybody. We will survive. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be hard. We're gonna get through it though. So have some solace in that. What I'm also gonna say though is, I would recommend anybody, if you have the availability or the opportunity to, completely take an entire 24-hour day, once a week if you can, with no social media and no news. Give your mind.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, it's tough, but I think it's very important. Now, that doesn't mean everyone in your household has to do it. Like if something super crucial came up, your spouse could tell you,
Right.
But I think it's very good for somebody's mind, and just even it's almost like a meditation for a day, a stimulus break. And I think that's going to be important to help people not become overwhelmed. So if you have the capacity to, if your job gives you the day off and you don't have to be on some type of social media platform, very important. Now, that doesn't mean everyone.
Whoops. Sorry.
I think it's super healthy.
Yeah, I got it pulled up. Sweet.
Good job. So
yeah, that's a good challenge. That's hard. Have you done that?
It's testing normal. It is testing normal, and I have done it, and I did it. I did on Monday. I think I did it last. No, wait, I worked last Monday, so I think I did it last Tuesday. And it was. I'm trying to do it. There you go. Can you see it? It was
Super
Oh, I
okay.
almost did it. Super okay. It's hard with this. Super okay. It was super good. I felt like
Super
honestly,
hard.
like I had had a day of like a cleansing day, like a colon cleanse, basically, right?
Right. Look at that. I moved the camera again.
Yeah, it's a little. Let's see
It's
if
a
I can get
little
closer.
it's a
There we
little
go.
picky,
Closer the
man.
better. Hey, yeah.
Heyo.
Hey, I want to say, hey, Christina, how you doing? Hope everything's going swell in your world of this whole craziness up in Portland. But thanks for the compliment on the animations. So yeah, I want to know Jordan though. So Jordan works for the state,
Right.
and he recently has been told basically he has to work from home. So
For a lot of
how'd that go
days.
this week?
It went really good. I have to be honest. I I know that there's a lot of people. I'm fortunate in that I have a job that allows me to be able to do that. And so I feel really, really bad for people who can't. And
Yeah.
so I say this with um, compassion towards people who can't do that. And thankful for the people that can't but have to be at work to make the world still work and are considered essential.
Right.
Um, but I will say, it went shockingly better than I think any of us thought that it would.
Oh,
And
nice.
and I think that one, if I'm going to take like a positive out of this for like my own job,
Yeah.
it's that um, this has taught us that hey, this is something that we could have been doing fairly easy, I think, the whole time. And it just kind of pushed people to do it, and there's a ton
Forced
of
it to
people doing
happen.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, it makes you kind of realize the almost inefficiencies of certain work aspects.
right.
Um, like like the meetings that are always happening, even in the healthcare field, there's these constant meetings that are like, oh, some of these every single day meetings about fluffy stuff might not be as necessary.
Well, see, I had a meeting that was going to be in in real life, like actual people there, face to
Hmm.
face, and it got pushed to a Skype meeting, and it was
Yeah,
done in like 15 minutes. I mean, not
works
only
great.
it like saved time, I didn't have to go anywhere. We got done what we needed to do, and it was like, holy crap, what have we been
Yeah,
not using this
I
for?
know. That's exactly what I thought about with my work. Like we had been talking about having meetings, virtually for, months or maybe even a year, and they never pushed for it to happen. And I think now this is actually a really good way of like, yeah, no, you can
Yeah,
do something over Skype. You could do something over FaceTime. Like it
it's
can
crazy.
work fine.
Yeah, it's wild. I think it's pushing people to do things in new ways. One thing that I before we get too far into this, should we say who's sponsoring this episode?
Yes. This episode, guys, is brought to you, and we're gonna put it up here, I
And
believe,
this is
somewhere
I'm gonna put it up if
over
I can not
here.
grab the camera. Um, I am. This is all thanks to Curtis and his persistency,
Love
his
it.
eightness,
Boop, boop, boop,
and
boop,
that
boop, boop,
is
boop, 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 boop,
this.
boop.
Boop, boop.
Boom. Brought to you this episode, brought to you by Zevia.
Poof.
They sponsored this episode, gave us quite a few
Oh my
delicious
gosh, yeah.
delicatessens of
If,
different things that I didn't even know some of the types of drinks they
dude,
had out
I
there.
didn't know that they had energy drinks. I
Energy
didn't
drinks.
know there was a ton of things
They
I didn't know that they had.
Yeah,
They had
energy
mixers,
drinks,
kids
like
drinks.
mixers, kids drinks, teas.
Yeah. Oh, that's what
Um,
I have. I have it right here, actually.
yeah. Everybody out there, check out Zevia. It's one of the healthiest sugar alternative drinks.
I'm gonna try
It
the sweetened black tea right now.
yeah, dude, the delicious. I had one of those as well. The the sugar is
Look at my
stevia.
head go back. Watch.
um and
Oh,
it does
our
not
notes is
have
currently unavailable. Perfect.
negative effects basically as normal sugars do, and actually in some cases it can help to lower your glycemic index. So
Right.
check them out. Zevia, boom, they're the bomb. Everybody give them a shot. They're delicious.
They're amazing.
Um
Woohoo!
so what else? What was I talking about though?
Katie Duke says Zevia.
Zevia! Yeah, Katie
Oh,
Duke.
well, what I was gonna say was things that they changed. Disney. So I went like a week and a half ago. Probably shouldn't have, with my kids to see Onward. Right.
Yeah, dude,
This
just watch
week.
that tonight.
This
Watch that tonight.
so
Thanks to
this week
Plex.
it is. Oh, hang on. Don't say that. Um,
Oh, okay.
oh,
No one knows what that means.
you
Nobody
already
knows what
did.
that means. It's okay.
But it is available to purchase in digital and will be on Disney Plus
Yeah,
on the 3rd.
I purchased it. Yeah,
Yeah,
there you
on
go.
Plex. Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it will be
Nice.
on Disney Plus on the 3rd, I think, April 3rd,
Okay.
which is pretty rad. And that is got to be some sort of record because 2 weeks after it went live in the theater, it is now available in digital.
Right. There's a lot of shows they're doing like that, though.
Yes.
Like Frozen 2 was not out that long before they released it early.
Right. And they did a surprise early launch of Rise of the Jedi as well.
Right, which was fantastic. I got to watch that with the kids the other night.
Right.
And it's a little spooky for a 4-year-old. The end scene where they're fighting. I don't know if I should give it away. Should I give it away or?
No, don't be
no,
don't do that. Lots of people waited.
Okay, guys.
But the ending was
You're
really
lucky.
cool.
You're lucky that I'm not saying anything about it because
You're lucky I'm here to tell
Jordan's
him
here.
not to.
because I probably would have said something.
High
just
fives.
now. High fives.
Boop.
Boom.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that it's a really good move and marketing move because the potential these media companies and outlets are losing money because people aren't going to the theaters. So that's a really good way of bringing in more revenue potentially by releasing them all digitally, right?
Right.
The movies.
Yes. Well, I mean, they're not going to
Ooh,
get
I like
any
how close that
revenue.
is. That's good.
You like that? But then the camera's
Yeah,
right in my
closer
face,
the
and
better.
I can't control that anymore.
That's okay. That's all right. I can use my phone
I can't.
for notes.
I have way too much going on. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Notes is
Oh my
totally
gosh.
locked. Perfect.
Okay, so did we bring up? Did I say something already? I said at the very beginning about the possible lockdown stuff, right? I was saying that.
You were talking about that, but what do you think about that? Because let's talk about Oregon's Friday. The Oregon governor and the
Kit
mayor
Topper.
and not Kit Topper and the
R.I.P.
yeah, and the mayor of Portland came on and we're talking about that. And they were like, no, it's not this. We need to continue to respect this and everything. I thought as soon as that came on, okay, we're all done. There's going to be a lockdown here. And I have to be honest, maybe I'm in the minority. I feel like because I have to go to work on Fridays. That's my in-office day for the week. And I'm like, this is still a lot of people. There's still cram-packed buses. There's people still running around doing stuff.
Right.
And they're not listening. Like, and then tomorrow they announced that the state parks for Oregon are closing down because there were too many people. And they said they will close the beaches as well, and nobody will out on the beaches if people don't even respect that.
So here's the thing. There's a couple factors to this why I think so many people have been at the state parks and doing these different activities. One, it's been like gorgeous outside, like
Oh yeah.
like Eden perfect, the weather. So that's a big factor. But the other thing is a lot of people are off work. So they're like, hey, it's beautiful outside. I don't have work. My kids are home. They tell us not to go into social activities, to go to like a theater or something like that. Hey, it's safe. We'll be outside. We don't have to be congregate with other people.
Right.
The problem is at like certain areas, certain parts of certain like Silver Falls.
Right.
People think I'll be spaced out, but everybody thinks the same thing. And if everybody goes there, then
Right.
it's just like this flood
Of people.
of people, and then
Right.
you have really no distancing of individuals, unfortunately.
Right, and that was the problem. I've seen pictures like just on my own Facebook feed, just thousands of people at our beaches and parks and all that, just like crowded up.
Mhm.
And it's like, okay, I get it. I get you want to be out. I get lockdowns suck, but
Yeah.
that's not what they meant by get out and do things. They didn't mean go
Yeah.
out and congregate. And then another like more disturbing thing that leads me to believe that they will probably do something nationwide is I've seen an alarming amount of people posting pictures of like coronavirus parties and all that kind of stuff, and
Oh, really?
having huge parties at their house, still like over 30 people coming
Yeah.
and just partying.
The main
And-
thing I was seeing was the like the spring breakers in Florida, you know.
Oh, did they close those down though?
No, they hadn't closed the beaches down.
I
And
think
so like
I think
like
they've started
thousands
to.
of spring breakers were in Florida, and partying at the beach.
Oh my gosh, people are
Yeah, it was crazy.
just not smart.
Okay, so here's where my kind of thoughts are about this social isolation and how it's been effective so far and what's been good, what's been bad. Here's my thoughts.
Yes.
Okay. So I think it has been good, and I think to a degree it really truly has decreased the spread of the infection to a point.
I think so
Now,
too.
In the next 1 week, I think it's going to be kind of the fulcrum point to predict where this is going to go. So, if in 1 week we don't start to see a steady incline in hospital admissions and test positive individuals, then I think the social isolation is going to be proven to have been effective, and it hopefully is going to decrease the overarching curve of the infection and make it manageable for the hospitals, right?
Right.
But if in the next week we see a steady incline and uptick in infections and admissions, then I think in 2 weeks, that's when we're going to start seeing overwhelming of hospital.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. We're already overwhelmed as far as supplies go with
Yeah.
protective equipment. Everybody's hearing about, we need to get more protective equipment. That's true. That regardless is not going to get better. But I mean, it's not going to get better in terms of the need, right, at this point.
Right.
But the overall demand on the hospital as far as like hospital beds and critical care rooms and supplies, that's where I feel like we could be in an okay place as long as people continue to practice the social isolation and help curb the rate at which people get sick.
Haley
That's
says
what I'm thinking.
it's kind of hard to take your avatars seriously.
I know I like moving my hands a lot.
But I like that we aren't necessarily taken seriously either.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
This virtually does not induce a very serious tone, but that's okay. You know what? We have
whatever.
enough serious stuff going on in the world right now.
The camera moved again.
It's time. Hey guys, come back. It's time to have a good conversation without fear and stress behind it.
Yeah, I would agree.
Okay, so
our notes got shut off. That's so super fun.
I have my phone, but I'm not worried about it.
Ask me questions.
Okay, do you think that in general, this is what I kind of hope, okay? I would love for this to be a situation where we respond too aggressively and find out this infection becomes not that big of a deal, rather than to respond too little and to become overwhelmed in like Italy.
Where did our camera go? Super fun camera. I don't know. I'm afraid to answer that question a little bit.
What's the fear behind it for you?
The fear behind it is I don't like overreactions. Well,
I think I guess it depends on when you say overreaction. Not overreaction of fear, but overreaction of protection.
Of what's going on. I would err on the side of safety for sure. Yeah. I do like that they didn't just go slammo into lockdown mode. I kind of think it's time now. So I would have said a week ago, I think it might be, well, maybe a week ago I would have said we should at a state level, if it really is increasing that much, do it. Watching people not respond to just the simple ask, I think it's time. But I think that, yeah, I would rather slow it. My fear is long term that people, if this, say it doesn't pan out and it's not as big of a deal, and people the next time something like this happens, won't listen. That's a legitimate fear.
So do you feel like people, so it's interesting though, it's because like kind of what it takes for people to listen is for it to be a really, like they have to be personally affected and hurt by it for them to want to listen more. But that's not really a smart way of approaching a problem, right? Like unless it hurts me directly, then I'm not going to take it seriously. And I feel like that's the way a lot of people look at this sort of thing, and it's It's
Haley,
like,
Haley says, "Don't cough on Jordan." You did. You were coughing, and it was right by me.
oh, dude, it's going virtual now. It's a virtual. It's like a computer virus now.
Ah, it's going viral.
Yeah, I have a cough, guys, and I could have coronavirus because I've seen a lot of sick people. So maybe, but I feel okay so far, and I have not gotten tested yet because
You can't.
I can't. Well, I mean, I could probably push for it to get tested,
Yeah.
but I really don't think they would. It would be kind of like I feel bad getting tested for it if I'm not super sick because there's such limited testing. And so one interesting developed this week, LA County or LA Mayor or LA Health Department, whatever it was, Health Administration, they are requesting that they stop testing for the coronavirus.
Really?
And yeah, they're requesting that all the providers stop testing for coronavirus and save it only for hospital admitted people.
Wow. Wow.
And they're doing that because they feel like at this point, the only effective measure is social isolation to prevent the spread. So they said it shouldn't just be coronavirus people, it should be everybody right now. And so they want to know who has it when they're in the hospital. And if they don't have those kits available, then that could potentially impede the way they treat patients. Because they have had a few studies out there that have shown the effectiveness of certain medications potentially for treating the virus.
Right. So here's something. Yeah, I don't. It's tough because I think that's one thing that I would have said. I wish we would have responded overly cautiously. Was just making a bunch of tests available, if at all possible.
If possible, it would have been awesome.
And it's shown that like countries that did that slowed it way quicker because
South
people
Korea,
had a reason to
Hong Kong.
self-isolate. And so, I mean, we talked about that last week, and so it's kind of repetitive, but that's where I would have, more than a lockdown, if people were tested, and then maybe like quarantine those people, like,
yeah,
and then you would have to do less self-isolation.
Exactly.
Because right now it's just because we don't know who has it. Well, what's the solution to that?
Everybody gets locked down.
Everybody gets locked down because we don't know. But if we did know at least most of the people that had it, you could quarantine instead. And that's
the solution is if we don't have the test kits available and we have very few options as far as testing, then save it for the people that are critical, because then potentially you could have a better treatment outcome for them.
Right.
So the treatment that they've seen that has been the most effective so far, but there has been a pretty good peer-reviewed article from some scientists in southern France, and it showed that the combination of hydrochloroquinolone with which is like an anti-malaria medication,
right,
in combination with azithromycin, which is a macrolide that we prescribe for different types of like bacterial bronchitis,
right,
or bacterial pneumonia. Walking pneumonia was a very common treatment.
This black tea is really good.
Combo has been shown to be effective potentially in treating and improving the outcome of the viral infection.
Right.
So, interesting.
Yeah. So did you hear about these politicians that sold off stock after they told everyone it was going to be okay?
Dude, so gross.
So on top of everything else, that's been like the biggest thing that's come out today was these guys that are like, it's going to be fine. And then they come to find out that they're doing this inside trader type stuff because they have inside information. And
that's insane.
And one of them, so one of the main people that they were blaming of, was one of only 3 that voted against a bill in 2012 that limited that. So
really?
So it just shows he's still doing it, even though they voted on them not doing it.
Well, I mean, I feel like why would Martha Stewart go to jail and not these guys?
I don't know.
I mean, if anybody should be pissed about this right now, Martha Stewart should be like on every single media outlet.
Yeah, nothing changed for her during this. I mean, people on house arrest, they're like, yeah, we've been training for this our whole life.
That's funny. She's not on house arrest anymore, but
no, I know.
Yeah,
but
at one point she would have totally.
Yeah, he dumped upwards of $1.6 million of stock.
Dear me.
Right directly after he reassured the public about the coronavirus preparedness.
Well, no, it was also after he had a meeting. Oh, sorry, guys. It was right after he had a meeting
Yeah.
about the upcoming infection
Yes.
situation.
Yep.
So that's even more sketchy.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what else we got going news this week.
So this is the Midwest. I was reading about this actually right before this. The Midwest is prepping for what they think is going to be a mild to or like moderate to heavy flood year, and they're coming into that as the coronavirus is starting to hit their states, which is kind of freaky.
Bad combo. That's a 1-2 combo right there.
Yeah. Ugh. Yeah. And just it's funny because I went and sorted like news feeds by like, you know, the last week what's big, and there's like nothing outside of anything that relates to this
Dude, I know all the news
virus thing.
When you look at the news, it's all about this outbreak.
It's crazy.
Even
yeah.
like even when you find something that like, oh, this looks like it might not be related to the outbreak currently, somehow it connects to it.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you think about this current conversation? What do you think? I can't just put this hand away. What do you think about the current stimulus package that everybody's talking about? What do you think about the pros and cons of it?
I think the cons are it costs a lot of money.
Do you know about it?
Yes. Well, I know there's a few different things that have been proposed. The major one just got shot down today, and they're blaming Pelosi for having stopped it, which is funny.
Wait, which one? Which one got shut down?
This was the paying out to Americans, like the
direct cash to people.
Yes.
Really, it got shut down?
Yeah, just today.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What?
It's currently at a stalemate, and now they're saying this time it's not the Republicans, it's the Democrats that have stalled it.
Why? Oh, you know why? Because I think what happened is she tried to put something else in the bill that wasn't related to it.
I would imagine that's what it was. I didn't read that far. I just saw the report come out because it just was going through today. So things could be changing as we speak.
Well, so for those of you that don't know, the stimulus package was basically every single American over the age of 18 would potentially receive a certain financial incentive up to, it was like they're saying like up to $1,000 to $2,000, but it was also based on your income. So if you individually made over like 100 or 70,000 or something like that.
I think it was $1 million.
No. I had seen numbers, and if it was you as a joint couple made over 198,000, then you would not be a candidate to get the incentive package.
Right. Yeah, I think as a family, I think it was $1 million. There was a few different ones. One of them was $1 million. I saw one at 750.
I saw one for if you or your spouse combined made over 198,000, you wouldn't get it.
Oh, that was much lower. The one was just like basically covered all Americans.
I think it's better to do that, the 198,000.
I do too.
Because majority of people that are making close to 200,000 a year would have either a position that they would still be making some type of money during this situation,
right?
Or they would have enough in reserves to last them at least a couple months.
For sure. Yeah. No, I do. You know? When I saw the higher numbers, I was like, it doesn't make any sense, but whatever. That's not a ton of people anyway. So.
Also, the other incentive package that I heard was that Trump was trying to push for, which I thought made a lot of sense, except for the people that aren't working right now. Alleviating or taking away the federal income tax off of paychecks at this time.
Yeah, I had heard that, but that one wasn't going as far as any of the other ones. Something that I saw that was really cool that is a little less coronavirus related, but I think it was good. But what's funny is, as I was reading through some of the comments on the article, because it was a letter from Jeff Bezos to employees saying, we're trying to get masks to you. We'll get them when we can get them. We're upping pay for people who are working during this and upping overtime pay.
Oh, that's awesome.
And they've also called for 100,000 additional positions, hoping to employ those that can't work right now in other industries. And people were blasting him, like,
really,
as if he was a giant jerk. Now, granted, he hasn't paid taxes in a few years, yada, yada, yada. Like, but I don't think this makes him a bad person. And that was kind of like reading through like what he was doing. I was like, he's actually, it seems like trying to help. They have a problem on their hands. They can't even keep up with the amount of orders. They've stopped shipping non-essential items, or not stopped, but they've slowed it down
Well,
to
think about
ship
Amazon
out
is like,
the
yeah,
only
Amazon
thing.
is the perfect type of supplier for this situation,
Right.
right? So like grocery stores are starting to say, okay, order online, then come pick it up. Um, and other like, restaurants are saying, okay, you come pick it up or we'll deliver it to you. And
Right.
Amazon is like the perfect outlet for decreasing exposure for the masses.
Absolutely. And so, but people were just blasting him. I don't understand. Maybe I didn't. I read his whole letter, and I was like, it actually seemed like he was actually trying to help and do as much as he could during this time. But I think people just kind of had a bad taste in their mouth about who he is beforehand. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I thought it was, I thought it was cool that he's trying to. And he said that he even said in it basically that he knows that they're not going to work for them forever, but when they can go back to their jobs, they will at least have had somewhere to work during that time.
That's cool. I
Yeah.
respect that.
Yeah.
Also, it was interesting. So at first, you know, Elon Musk was like kind of harping on this whole thing. He was
Mm-hmm.
saying, this is no big deal. This is kind of a joke.
Yeah.
And now he's basically kind of backtracking on that
Yeah. He's
and
like
telling his employees, if you're
trying to.
sick, don't come in. And we're going to make ventilators now instead of cars for a little while.
Yeah, and then also they sent pallets and pallets and pallets of masks to LA hospitals.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and that was cool. I was like, wow, okay. So, I mean, that's just like people are, I think, are kind of ramping into realizing it's not just the flu, because that's what a lot of people were saying in the beginning, is this is just the flu. Um, but a lot of people
Yeah.
are jumping in to help. And one thing I think I had it in my notes last week and we just didn't talk about it was a story out of Italy where we just were, was they ran out of the,
So crazy.
I know it's bananas. They ran out of the ventilator valves, and a guy came in and made one on a 3D printer
Yeah, that's genius.
within a few hours, and then took that file that he had designed it and gave it to a 3D printing production company nearby, and they were able to continue going. And the company, like at the time, like days later, still hadn't been able to get them the valves, and they know that they won't last forever, but they're
Wait,
better.
what do you mean the company couldn't get them the valves?
The company that makes the valves couldn't get them the
Okay.
valves.
Oh, I see.
And so
Gotcha.
like they're like, screw patents, we're just going to make this work so people can live. But then also sadly today Italy has announced that basically like anyone over 60, they're treating as like almost too tough to treat, like they're
Really?
triaging
Over 60?
above a certain age. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know 60. I had heard something about 80, but 60. Wow.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah. And maybe that could be wrong, like there might be some more details to that. Who knows? That's kind of.
Yeah. So it's kind of sobering when
It is.
you hear about Italy, but it's also kind of like underwhelming when the majority of the people in our location haven't seen mass casualties yet.
Right.
So people here, it's hard for them to feel the weight of responsibility when they themselves haven't felt the negative impacts as much,
Right.
right? So that's really hard to incentivize and to push the need for this sort of thing of, being conservative with your interactions
Mm-hmm.
when they haven't been hurt by it. And by the time people start getting really hurt by it, though, that's when it's like too late to practice that type of conservation.
Right.
So it's a double-edged sword, unfortunately.
Did you see my article that I linked about the church in Korea, South Korea?
No, huh?
So they, speaking of limiting interactions, number one, they shouldn't have had 46 people at the church, but they did, and they told them they sprayed salt water in their mouths, thinking that it would help prevent them from getting the virus.
What?
Or no, it was more than 46 because 46 people got infected because they used the same nozzle.
What? Wait,
Yes.
nozzle? To spray the salt water.
Yes.
Genius.
So 46 people got infected out of I don't know how many people.
Dude,
It's just,
that's chaos.
yeah. It's like
So
most churches are, well, at least that I have heard of they aren't or can't meet, and they're doing online and everything. At least we're not spraying salt water in each other's mouths.
Yeah, true. Yet.
Yet. What if that works?
Um,
Clearly it doesn't. I guess they already proved that wrong.
yeah. So if we are able,
Oh man, you're getting tired. Look at you. I can see you.
I'm getting tired.
You're all droopy-eyed.
No, what I was gonna say though is if we're able to keep having enough supplies, that's awesome. I hope that continues.
Yeah.
But in certain areas, they're already starting to ask the community to use fabric and cut. They're giving them like a map, or not map, whatever it's called, blueprint, and
Yeah.
they're asking people to start cutting fabric to use as masks.
Yeah,
in
to
the
sew.
hospital.
They gave like instructions as to what fabric they could use that would still be approved.
Well, but honestly, like it's okay. So something that Trump said that I was just like, oh, that's so silly. He was saying they were asking him about the lack of masks or protective equipment, and he
Right.
said, honestly, it's a big waste right now because we have 50 million masks every day that are getting thrown away. I can't impersonate him, so I'm just gonna talk silly. I can't. We have 58 million masks in this country that are getting thrown away every day. Why are they getting thrown away? We should just wash them. They have great chemicals out there to wash these masks. So all you have to do, I've seen it before. I've seen the mask. All you do, just get a little chemical, wash the masks, reuse them. They're great. It's perfect. It works great. Works perfect. It's perfect. Just do it. It's great. And
he mentioned that today again too, and they actually were talking about a process to clean them.
So dumb. No, these base surgical masks you cannot get wet and then use them again.
Yeah, no.
Like that's not how it works. It's
dry
like
cleaning. Dry cleaning.
Yeah, I mean, unless you put them maybe in some like radiation, put them in some type of like radioactive, core, and then like literally kill any possible life forms on it. Maybe I don't know, but you can't just soak these things and make them work anymore. Like it's not the way. If you've seen these masks, that's not how it works. They're made of this like dense fabric, and so as soon as you start getting them wet, the fabric just starts deteriorating. Not deteriorating, but it just doesn't work properly anymore. And then if you can't breathe through the mask, then the air just comes around the sides, and then you're breathing everything.
Right. Well, I saw someone was saying like I could sew a bunch of these. Could you use them? And a nurse commented and said, "Well, right now they're telling us to use bandanas, so I'm sure this wouldn't be any worse."
Dude, yeah, it's insane. It basically there's very little protective measures being taken right now. So that's why even more so the distancing is important. So something kind of crazy that I'm doing right now that would never ever be done unless you're in a state of emergency or state of pandemic.
Oh wait, can I guess?
Yeah.
You just punch your patients in the face.
Close. Not quite.
Okay. That's a good guess though.
So we're trying to do video visits, right?
Yeah.
For any type of like respiratory condition.
Telehealth.
So instead of having them come in, we're doing, telemedicine, but through videos, right?
Well, Trump invented that.
People have to have this like my chart, and they have to get it all set up. And it's really hard for a lot of these elderly people. They don't know how to work through all this technology, but a lot of them have phones, right? So I'm using like during the visits, sometimes I'm like, if I can't connect with somebody, I'm calling them on my direct phone number and through Skype trying to connect to them, or not Skype, through FaceTime. So I'm FaceTiming these people, like, like a lot of people out in the community now have my private phone number.
Oh my gosh.
I'm because it's the only way they can connect to me, and I'm FaceTiming them. But the government, the CDC released, or was it OSHA? Or I can't remember. But they said, you know what, during a state of pandemic, we give you the freedom to call people, FaceTime them, Skype them. The only thing that we are not giving you rights to do, connecting wise,
is go to their house
through Facebook. They will not allow us to connect through Facebook.
Really? I wonder why.
I think maybe because you have more personal information about yourself through Facebook, maybe. But they don't feel like it's secure enough. So you can do FaceTime, Skype, but you can't connect through Facebook.
Oh, look at that. You're finishing a can. Whoa, you just broke your own neck in this. That was hilarious.
Yeah, kind of interesting. The way that we're approaching things right now, like even treating people, is very kind of it would have been breaking a lot of rules.
Oh, I'm sure.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah,
but
I mean, during times like this, you do what you can to make it work. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
I don't know.
it's crazy.
It's kind of like wartime. Like
Yeah, yeah,
you you do things to make it work.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, because they say like I was reading today now. I stats are a thing that bother me because um they can just be wrong. Like
Right,
statistics are only as good as the data. But like right now, they're saying that we're confirmed to have more like faster growing corona cases in the United States. Granted, we just started testing faster.
yeah,
But like that's the reality we live in, and
yeah.
a lot of us might have do things uniquely that we didn't do before. And I think what's cool about that, if you want to like look at the bright side of it, I think there's a lot of things that we're going to take away and continue to do the way that we do now. Like we were talking about at the beginning, that save time that we didn't think was possible before, but that we just weren't pressed to be comfortable doing.
Yeah,
And I think that's cool
I do too. I like it.
as a tech person.
Okay, dude, you want to do some shower thoughts?
Oh, first off, I
Yeah.
want to read my TIL.
Oh yeah, go for
So
it, buddy.
my TIL, today I learned you are less likely to die during an economic depression. This is mostly
Interesting.
attributed to cleaner air, reduced traffic, and fewer dollars spent on vices like tobacco and alcohol.
You know, that's interesting. During a state of emergency, I feel like I sometimes would wonder, like, would more people buy tobacco and alcohol because they're stressed out?
Well, this is specifically about an economic downturn, so kind of like
Oh,
what
okay,
they predict we might go into through all
gotcha.
of this, um, which is just crazy. Um,
Okay,
yeah,
so my first shower thought is
yes, do it.
I thought about this week. Like, this is literally something I thought about. Cold coffee is only good when you make cold coffee on purpose.
It's true. My
So,
wife would
like,
disagree. She makes microwave coffee, and that is absolutely wrong. Like, it's cold in the
what do you
pot,
mean?
and she puts it in a cup and microwaves it.
Right, but like she wouldn't drink it cold as much likely unless she was intending for it to be made cold,
I would hope not. She could answer that
right? Like
question.
that's,
I still think
I
it's
mean, maybe.
barbaric to do the microwave, but
Okay, you got shower thoughts?
Haley said that your Trump impression was spot on.
Oh, thanks,
Also,
Haley.
Curtis, thank you for working your balls off.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I hope that they remain after this situation, but time will tell.
Your balls?
Yeah, she says thanks for working them off, and I'm
Oh,
saying
yeah,
I
yeah,
hope they
yeah.
remain after this whole situation.
Yeah, I was just clarifying that that's what you're talking about.
But yeah,
Ooh.
you're welcome. You're welcome.
Okay, here we go. From looking at grocery stores, all of a sudden, all the gluten allergies have disappeared.
Dude. Right? And you know how little we're hearing from anti-vaxxers right now?
I know.
Yeah, seriously.
Although I did see a picture of a volunteer getting like the coronavirus like a test vaccine, and they posted a picture of him and said, "This is what a dumbass looks like." And I was like, "Well, it's probably not the safest thing you can do, but also they are kind of trying
Someone's
to
got
help
to do it.
save you."
Right. So thank you. Okay.
Go.
Speaking of grocery shopping has become a real life version of Pac-Man. Avoid everyone, get the fruit, and take any route to avoid contact.
Oh, it's so true. I think it would be more hilarious if ghosts were running around chasing you while you shopped.
Yeah,
Um,
that would be good.
the upcoming April Fool's Day may be one of the most frightening ones we've had in a recent history.
So true. Such a good one. A microbiologist is a large number of cells studying a small number of cells.
That took me too long to figure out what you were saying.
Hmm.
Way too long.
True.
Oh, it's so true. Oh, we could all be wiped out, and phones would still be eerily ringing off all day due to robocalls.
Ugh, so gross. Um, which have been going way busier lately. I've been getting so many of those.
So have I. Yeah, it's insane.
It feels like nature has told us to go to our room and think about what we've done.
Seriously, that's so true.
Time out.
Here's one for my kids. The world has played an Uno reverse card on extroverts.
Yeah, dude. Seriously.
Nope,
Ugh.
skip you. Go back the other way.
But, on the opposite side, being introverted may be an evolutionary trait designed for these exact times.
Oh, that's so true too.
Isn't that kind of a
so
cool thought?
true. Yes.
That's my last shower thought I had.
I have a couple more, and you can see them. If you wear camouflage in public, you stand out more.
True. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
I like
look
that.
at that guy. Read the Mufasa one. Can you see it?
Yeah, let me see. Okay. Mufasa is the quintessential father figure. Darth Vader is the quintessential anti-father figure. Both were voiced by James Earl Jones. Ooh, interesting.
How's that crazy?
That is cool.
So here's one I was talking to my son about. If you were under the age of 40, okay, Kane Tanaka, who's the oldest living person in the world, she's 117 and a half, has slept more years than you've been alive.
That's so cool. That's really cool.
She was 40.
That's wild.
So she was 40 in World War II.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
A serial killer's greatest tool isn't a knife or an axe or a gun or anything like that. It's trust.
When I read that, I was like, that's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Whew. Okay, last one. Calling a guy man is a way of indicating that you're someone's friend, but calling a girl woman just seems condescending.
Yeah, that's true. It's interesting. That's Me Too culture right there, baby. Let's fix it.
I don't know if it's Me Too culture.
Well, I don't know what that means actually. I don't know what I was saying there. I was just saying it's not fair to women for it to be that way.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Okay, so
all right,
dude, that was it. This is good. I liked it.
Yeah. Super
all right,
fun.
guys.
Hopefully our notes don't break next time.
I know. Thanks for listening to Tested Normal, guys. Thank you, Zevia, for sponsoring this episode.
Woohoo! Yeah,
and
the black sweet tea is really good.
Hope you all have a fantastic week. And next week, in 1 week, we'll see what happens.
Wait, hang on. Haley says she would drink it cold out of the pot.
Oh, would she?
Yeah, that's gross.
Let me think about that.
You come out in the morning, pot of cold coffee. You just pour it in a cup and drink it like that.
Yeah, I think that's. I don't mind that actually, because I would do that as well, but I think majority of people probably wouldn't.
Oh gosh.
But I have to have ice in it. It can't be lukewarm. I don't like lukewarm.
She said I have frequently just chugged out of the lukewarm pot.
Oh.
Okay, so that's a step further.
That's a step further. Haley is a beast when it comes to drink coffee.
Yeah.
She has a coffee tolerance that surpasses many.
Yeah. I don't know if that's good or bad or what.
All right, guys.
Well, this is episode 54 in the bag.
Peace out. We'll talk to you next week.
All right. See you guys. Maybe we'll talk about something else. Maybe something else will come up in the news. What do you think?
Yeah. We'll see. Time will tell.
I don't know. Okay. We'll see you. Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Hope you find your dad.